Illegal gambling happening in Medford. We're digging deeper into that question this morning after the Cow Creek Tribe files a restraining order.
Plus, a wrong turn led to a crash in Central Point, how a school bus ended up on its side, and what students and parents had to say after.
Live, local, breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6 a.m. as we take a foggy look at Grants Pass this morning. We're seeing some freezing temperatures across the region. Welcome to NewsWatch 12 this morning. I'm Damien Alvarado.
And I'm Brinkley Hill. Let's check in with what our current conditions are looking out like, because it is freezing across a majority of southern Oregon and northern California. Not too cold on the coast this morning, but you're definitely going to want to drive carefully this morning as you head out. And not only are we worried about some freezing temperatures this morning, but fog as well, as we just saw in Grants Pass. Definitely some fog building this morning. But let's check in on what our day is going to look like with Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman.
Good morning. It's another cold start. We are also contending with some fog and freezing fog in our west side valleys. Give yourself a little extra time heading off to work and school today. Some of those roads could be slick and some of that fog locally dense, but we will see the clouds and the fog clearing in the Rogue Valley. Otherwise, sunny skies throughout the region today. That's where temperatures will be milder, but we should see temperatures a little bit warmer for today in the Rogue Valley, even at least getting up into the middle 40s. If we can see some brighter conditions earlier, we may get up into the upper 40s. Take a look at the air stagnation advisory in place. West side and east side valleys, we're seeing some reduced air quality out there this morning. That will continue to be an issue as we go through at least tomorrow morning. Tracking more dry weather. It's a very quiet stretch for us here in southern Oregon and northern California, but we got some changes in temperatures over the next 7 days. I'll have the details on that coming up.
In our top story this morning, two tribes are in disagreement if a casino is legal or not, or if a building is even considered a casino. We reported this weekend the Department of Interior is approving the Coquille Indian Tribe's request to transfer land into trust to Medford. The project clears the way for the tribe to move forward with a new gaming facility and other economic development in the region.
What we learned this morning is that Cedar at Bear Creek, formerly known as Roxy Ann Lanes, has over a dozen gaming machines where people were playing them last night.
And the project has been widely criticized for more than a decade from various other tribal organizations, some even filing restraining orders. As you're seeing behind us with photos obtained by NewsWatch 12, Samantha Cedar has the latest.
The Indian Gaming Regulatory Act requires tribes to provide 120 days notice before opening any new place, facility, or location on Indian lands where Class 2 or 3 gaming will occur. I visited the Cedars at Bear Creek, the casino in question, where I saw gaming machines in operation. However, when I approached the location and asked to speak to the manager, I was asked to leave, who stated that no media access was permitted at this time without contacting the tribe. The Indian Gaming Regulatory Act also outlines that if a gaming operations ordinance or resolution doesn't meet the required standards, the tribe must bring it into compliance within 120 days. If the chairman determines that an ordinance or resolution submitted under subsection A of this section does not conform to the requirements of section 2710B of this title, the chairman shall provide written notification of necessary modifications to the Indian tribe, which shall have not more than 120 days to bring such ordinance or resolution into compliance. The Coquille tribe maintains they are following all necessary procedures. They provided this statement saying, "The Coquille tribe is in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations and has been fully transparent with the National Indian Gaming Commission regarding its plans to conduct gaming on the property once the record of decision was issued." On the other hand, the Cow Creek tribe has a different view. Michael Rondeau said, if this casino was legitimate, it wouldn't have been approved by the Biden administration in the dark of night, and they wouldn't have started operating illegally in the dark of night. The people of Medford deserve better.
The Cow Creek tribe isn't stopping there. They also said that due to the casino's illegal operations, other tribes in the area have filed other requests for temporary restraining orders. We reached out to the National Indian Gaming Commission for clarification, but haven't heard back yet.
And 10 students were on their way to school when their bus crashed into a ditch. We now know there were no major injuries, but I was able to talk to one student who was feeling a headache, and we know one student was taken to the hospital for evaluation. Central Point School District 6 tells us that student was sent home just a few hours after the crash. Despite a scary start to one of the moms whose son was involved in this, she was happy to know how the district handled the incident.
Everything went as well as it could possibly have been. I think the only thing that was questionable was it sounds like they don't normally use that route.
It missed a road that it was supposed to turn on, and it turned on another road trying to get back on the route.
Davenport told NewsWatch 12 the driver was a substitute, and after sliding off the road, the driver and a bus monitor quickly guided the students out of emergency exits on the roof and out of the back of the bus.
The former Josephine County Commissioner has now been appointed to fill the vacancy left after the recall of John West. Andreas Blech was sworn into position 1 yesterday afternoon to serve the remainder of West's 4-year term. Blech formerly served as position 2 commissioner last year to replace former Commissioner Dan DeYoung, who resigned in July 2024. That term ended on January 6th. For more details, you can head to our website, kdrv.com.
The Grants Pass and Josephine County Chamber of Commerce is saying that they are in full support of the Josephine Community Library. The County Board of Commissioners has voted to terminate the library's lease agreement. The Chamber of Commerce now urging the Board of Commissioners to have a fair process on new lease negotiations. The county commissioners say they need to increase the rent from the library in order to pay for building repairs.
New developments this morning in the nurses' strike, 4 days since Oregon nurses took to the picket line. All 8 Providence hospitals now say they are ready to schedule negotiations with the Oregon Nurses Association. Providence announced that they informed federal mediators of their readiness to resume those negotiations. And NewsWatch 12 reported that ONA nurses are hopeful about future bargaining, but frustrated it's taken so long.
ONA is sending NewsWatch 12 this statement saying Providence faces a choice: continue investing millions in temporary strike, breaking measures, or work collaboratively with frontline caregivers to take bargaining seriously and develop comprehensive solutions. Providence said it's our understanding that mediators have been in conversation with union leaders, and we eagerly await their response. NewsWatch 12 is continuing to follow this story as the two continue their negotiations. Happening now, close to 30 service centers are giving mushroom therapy to people in Oregon. This year, these service centers have to follow some new rules.
NewsWatch 12's Leaf Collin tells us how this could impact clients and what it means for the future of psilocybin treatment.
This is not a surprise to the clients. They've already seen it.
Andreas Met is the founder of Satya Therapeutics in Ashland, one of 27 service centers in the state for mushroom therapy.
Not only does it potentially change people's lives, it often fundamentally changes lives, more often than not.
All of these psilocybin centers are now tweaking some of their operations as a part of state law for 2025. One rule: clients now have to share identifying info under Senate Bill 303. Centers have to keep track of that info to share with the state.
Whatever it takes to provide this healing for people, this is what I've dedicated my life to. So I think that getting some of this data is important.
Clients can opt out of that data being used by Oregon. But Isabel Met, Andreas's daughter, says the rule is a double-edged sword.
People, for instance, of color have been greatly harmed by the history of the war on drugs. And so having to talk about that, they may feel more likely not to get this.
Psilocybin is legal in Oregon, but cities can make their own rules about its use. Rogue River residents voted to ban magic mushrooms in 2024 within city limits. Amanda Wiggins manages Rogue River Herbal PMC, a marijuana dispensary off Main Street. She said it took years for residents to come around on cannabis, and she predicts psilocybin will be the same way.
It's just going to be a slow process, just like that. They have to realize the medicinal reasons and not just think that people are out there trying to trip out.
But Andreas Met says that day is yet to come.
There's too little awareness about this to say there's a cultural shift happening.
Reporting in Jackson County, I'm Leaf Collin.
A man has been accused of throwing rocks at police officers from a roof in downtown Klamath Falls. Court documents say the suspect was swinging a metal pipe at someone before he climbed onto a roof at Klamath Avenue and Broad Street. Police say the man began throwing large rocks down at police officers, hitting one of them and then shattering a patrol car windshield. Ashland is wrapping up the month with its annual town hall gathering. It's a chance for Ashlanders to talk to Mayor Tanya Graham and other city staff and learn more about the city's resources. Mayor Graham will also give the State of the City address and present awards. The gathering will be on Wednesday, January 22nd at 5:30 at Southern Oregon University.